Just got to interrupt that to go live to the Prime Minister speaking in Adelaide.
With Health Minister Mark Butler and with Louise Miller-Frost, the federal local member here for Boothby, as well as state local MPs who are here today. Now, during the election campaign, I came here with the Premier and made a commitment to join with South Australia on the upgrade of this fantastic hospital. A great hospital that looks after people in the southern suburbs of Adelaide, but one that is in need of an upgrade. And that's why our $400 million commitment, jointly funded, is making a difference. But I've got to say, thanks to the Premier's hard work and the South Australian Government, we're fast-tracking that. Some 16 beds coming online in the first half of 2024, but very soon, in the next few weeks, 26 new acute inpatient beds being open here at Flinder's Medical Centre. This is an important part of the 120 extra hospital beds that we'll provided here, new surgical and procedural spaces, extra MRI and CT scanners due to come online in the middle of this year. The full upgrade will be completed by 2028. And this comes on top of our other commitments for South Australia that are being rolled out. Yesterday, the Health Minister announced the 5 expressions of interest for 5 new urgent care clinics to take pressure off emergency departments. We're rolling out 12,500 fee-free TAFE places. We're rolling out 88,000 additional premises are being connected to the fibre-based NBN, making an enormous difference to the provision of services as well as to business activity here in South Australia. And some 65,000 South Australian families will benefit from our childcare changes that will put extra money into their pockets from July 1 and increase the workforce participation of women, as well as boosting productivity. We're committed to South Australia, and it is fantastic to have the South Australian Premier Peter Malinauskas, who has worked so effectively with myself as the Prime Minister, but his ministers working closely with our ministers to make sure that we're delivering on our commitments, not just delivering, but in cases like this, we're exceeding what the commitments were. Ask Mally to make some comments, and then we'll be happy to take questions.
Well, thanks, Prime Minister. It's truly a privilege to be here at Flinders Medical Centre with you today as we mark this important milestone on the delivery of the most substantial upgrade to our state's second biggest hospital that we have seen in decades. The Flinders Medical Centre has a proud history, and it is increasingly grown as it seeks to serve a growing population in and around the southern suburbs. But now is the moment that we need to make a step change in the capacity of the Flinders Medical Centre to ensure that this increasing population continues to enjoy the benefit of the high quality services that our hard-working clinicians deliver here day in, day out. I invite people, particularly South Australians, to cast their minds back a bit over 12 months ago when I asked the then opposition leader, Anthony Albanese, to contemplate joining with my government to actually deliver that step change here at Flinders. And I remember well, Prime Minister, exactly where I was when we had a phone call late in the evening, and you were all too accommodating to make sure that South Australia could partner with a federal Labor government to deliver on this $400 million upgrade. I just want to acknowledge, Prime Minister, that the advocacy of Louise Miller-Frost, along with Aaron Thompson, the local state MP, in conjunction with Mark Butler, who we're so lucky to have as a South Australian and also our Federal Health Minister, there's been a joint team effort to make sure that we don't take the Commonwealth state contribution for granted, but rather actually get on with delivering. So today we see that there are going to be, within days, an additional 26 acute patient care beds here at FMC coming online. And as soon as next year, we will start to see the rollout of the additional 136 beds that our $400 million investment will deliver. Now, to put this in a bit of context, 136 beds represents the single biggest increase to any existing hospital that we've seen in state in modern history. So this is a massive expansion of the current capacity of the Flinders Medical Centre, and for it to be coming online so quickly after the respective state and federal elections, I think speaks to a degree of teamwork, but more than that, a lot of hard work that's gone on to make sure that we're getting the right resources in the right places to meet the needs that we've got today. South Australians, along with, I guess, everybody who's witnessing what's happening to our health system around the country, understand that we don't have a moment to lose when it comes to putting additional beds online. And already my government's delivered hundreds more of them over the course of the last 11 months, and we're set to deliver hundreds more again thanks to the partnership that we've got with the Albanese Labor government. I also just want to take the opportunity to thank Mark Butler, because I know Mark understands the fact that there is a direct relationship with what happens in hospital ramping with what is happening at the front end when it comes to Medicare and accessibility of GPs. So the announcement just yesterday of the urgent care centres coming online here in South Australia at pace is only good news as we seek to address the ramping crisis that we see around the country, but particularly here in South Australia. So I want to thank Mark and you, Prime Minister, and Louise for working with me and Erin and our teams on bringing these things online as quickly as possible to make a difference where we need it most, as urgently as we can possibly address it. The only other thing I thought I'd quickly mention, if you don't mind me saying so, PM, is we are exceptionally excited about the prospect of the announcement of the AUKUS decision in the coming weeks. You are right, Prime Minister. This represents the single biggest opportunity that not only South Australia, but also our whole nation has had to improve our economic complexity. South Australia stands ready to work with the Commonwealth to deliver on this absolutely nationally critical project. This is a 100-year program, and we're very excited about it here in South Australia, and we're already making the investments that are going to be required to deliver the workforce to build the most complex machines that have ever been built in the history of humankind right here in Adelaide.